Hello, my aqua friends. We are gonna do a lighthouse today. I am using this tacky film. It's tacky on one side, so you just draw out what you want to block. I do like this film compared to using masking fluid. I do find the edges come out a lot sharper. We are gonna do wet on wet, and we are making a beautiful sunset in the background. So always working from the background to the foreground. The orange that I'm using is actually from Daniel Smith, and it is transparent pyrrole orange. And the blue I'm using is phthalo blue red shade from Holbein. Darkening up the blue towards the top of the painting, I add in some indigo blue. Doing the second coat, we are not going to do it wet on wet. We are just going to go straight for a very thick, milky consistency of the blue to get a darker color. Just fading it into that orange. Do you guys have a favorite sky color blue? I do love the phthalos for sunset, sunrise type of sky. It's a very rich blue. And this transparent pyrrole orange is very, as you can see, a very, very bright orange. So we're using contrasting colors. That's why it's so dramatic looking. Once dry, I take a fan brush and I'm sprinkling opaque white on there for the stars because it is a night scene. My lights are actually so bright, guys, that the sky is actually a lot more darker than what it looks on the video here. So I'm drawing in the details of the lighthouse. You'll be able to get the reference photo in the description below so that you could paint along. I'm just using an HP pencil here. Adding in the landscape. So now I have my foundation lines built up in order to follow with the paint. So for the glowy part, the reflection on that left-hand side, I am using ISO Yellow Deep. I do mix it with some yellow ochre. To get a natural gray, a nice natural gray, I'm going to use the same colors that we're using in the painting. Since the blue and the orange are contrasting colors, when you mix those two together, you will get various shades of some grays that look natural. Coming in with a warmer glow on that side. On the shadow side, I'm using the same blues that I've used in the sky. There are some almost purpley pinky colors, so I added a little bit of Quin Scarlet. So while it's wet, you notice I just keep kind of going over those colors, trying to add as much vibrancy as I can while it's still wet. The foreground is all in shadow, so I'm adding that. This is a very thick mixture of the blue and orange mixed together to get this black. I'm taking a wet brush with my ruler just to try to soften the edges to make it nice and crisp. The lines look a little wavy to me, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist that way. So you could also take a watercolor pencil and get your line nice and straight that way as well, or marker that's similar color. The most background piece of land is lighter than the foreground piece, and so I'm making that one a lot more pale. I am using burnt sienna to do the top of the lighthouse. Now, as in the picture, the sky is a little lighter in the area where the light is shining, and it has like almost like that pinky orange tone from the glow of the light. So I'm taking a wet brush and I'm picking up paint with the wet brush, adding in some Quin Scarlet, a little pink color like I see in the reference photo. With the shadowy color, I'm adding in the details of the windows. And the door and the roof are next. The brushes that I'm using are Princeton black silver brushes. They have a very, very fine point, as you can see. I think I'm using a number 6 round. And I'm able to get these very tiny details. I'm just softening those edges with a damp brush. Now I have a very fine ballpoint pen that I'm drawing in the railing and the finer details of this lighthouse. And it is a very small painting, so I'm not gonna get too overwhelmed with a lot of detail, but I'm just trying to sharpen up the edges of the lighthouse. I'm using a white gel pen to add in the light. So I lost my stars on that one side when I made the light from the lighthouse and was trying to lighten that area, so I'm just adding in more stars. Towards the end of a painting, this is when we look at the tonal values and see what we need to do. So I went ahead and darkened up these land areas in the foreground. Once you darken up that background landscape, then it's like matches the foreground. You're like, shit, now I have to make the foreground darker, and it's like always this balance. And then I went a little too crazy with that black and immediately took a wet brush and was like, nope, not that dark. Just signing with a gel pen there so my signature could be seen, but that is it. Sign your painting. The satisfying part of ripping that tape off and seeing that white border. Okay guys, this is what it looks like all matted. I wanted to show you. I'm using artist's grade archival materials, so it's not going to yellow over time. So I just taped the mat down to the backing, and then I make little hinges here to attach the painting. Okay, so it's nicely centered, and then these come with the cutest little bags as well. Now, how cute is this gift to give to somebody? To make it extra special, you could get all sorts of tape at like Michael's for scrapbooking. And you can even get some stickers, little flowers, little three-dimensional things that you could put on there. If this is a business, if you're an artist, you could include your instructions on how to take care of the painting and your business card in here. I usually also add a thank you note. Just makes it more personalized. And, you know, have everything nice and neat and nicely lined up. And that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this mini tutorial.